That was pretty awesome, Mr. Mike.
Thank you, sir. Jesus. It's all about Jesus.
Yes, it is.
We lost
Always
God.
has been. I know he keeps falling in and out of the world.
Oh, no. Maybe he's committed the unforgivable sin.
No, sorry, I've heard him speak in tongues.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, well, that's great.
You're still screen sharing, Mike. There you go.
Cool deal.
You know, it's really something that the privilege that we have.
Lifelong, Doug.
I mean, every Christian has a privilege, but my goodness,
right?
We actually believe this stuff.
Right? That's funny. Yeah, I remember back in the 80s, and that idea of unforgivable sin was bandied about so much, and it used to drive me nuts because, I mean, they were everything that was going on. They called that was the seed, that was the demon seed, the seed of the serpent.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that, and always prayed about that, and it just isn't set that way in context. We're all born into sin. We're all, I mean, God had to separate the devil's seed from the seed that he put in the woman because we were dust.
Yeah.
And so we could have looked in the mirror just as easily and said, oh, yeah, I was seed of the serpent. But I wasn't.
Yeah.
Those things that he beat.
There were a lot of people back then who thought they were born of the seed of the serpent. I mean, I had people ask me that question.
Yes, I remember.
Could I be born of this? You know, and I look at them and say, speak in tongues. And they would. You're not born again of the seed of the serpent. Right? Impossible.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And that condemnation just keeps us away from God. And I hope that came out in the teaching too. When we put ourselves in that same subjection we've been delivered from, all we're doing is separating ourselves. God doesn't leave. We just kind of turn our back on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Just thinking of Jonah. God told him to go to Nineveh, so he headed off in the other direction.
All the way to Spain, I think. I think he went all the way to Spain. I mean, he hightailed it.
Yeah, he got out of there quick. Yeah. And there's a simple reason for it. There had been a prophecy many years before that Nineveh was going to come in and crunch Israel.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. But I mean, before that happened, though, they repented and they quit doing the things they were doing, and then that meant Israel got crunched.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get a kick out of. I mean, God's character doesn't change. He's God, but God changes his mind, and that's where a lot of people get messed up because they think we have an unchanging God. So whatever that they get, then it becomes everything is the will of God because God doesn't change, and all these bad things that are happening is just God's will to teach you a lesson. But God does change his mind. Yes,
he does.
Yeah, he says, do this and this will happen. If you do that, that'll happen. And people start doing the thing they weren't supposed to do, and the bad happens. And then God still comes to him and says, hey, I can still bless you. I'm still here. I want to. Just get out of that bad stuff. Don't eat of that damn tree.
How is it John says it, do this and I'll bust you, do that and I'll pop you.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I've been looking at Decamine Lombano a lot, Don Culp, and I've been I think some of the problems we have with that is that we started getting to where we tried to make the words mean the same thing in every context. In other words, when words are used, word studies can get to be dangerous because where it's being used for one purpose in one context, it can be being used for another purpose in another context. That's why we have to read the context because and you try and I've heard believers say this before too. They want the steps to healing. Well, it depends on the circumstance because God can do some infinite things to cause healing to happen with all the powers at his disposal. And there is no, it's eternal, and we're dealing with an eternal God, no beginning, no end. And we're trying to find out where drive in reverse is, like we're driving a Chevrolet, and it just doesn't work that way. That's why we can't get so try to nail words down to have only one meaning because they have various meanings in various contexts, and we have to look at that.
Yeah, because one time he'll tell you go wash yourself in the Jordan, and the next time you may say go wash your eyes in the pool of Siloam.
Exactly.
All depends on the circumstances.
Right. In the same way with the words like Decamine and Lombano, and one time it might be being filled to a person's capacity, and in another time when it's talking about filled in plural, being filled beyond their capacity. In other words, God's working with them, and it's a real interesting look, but it's not so fixed because it's also talks about filling a cup, and I mean it's used in different contexts in different ways. That makes sense, Don Culp? Don Culp here? Oh, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's there. Hey, Don. Yoo-hoo.
He's frozen.
Well, he's moving.
Oh, he's moving now. He's freezing and moving. Is your mic on, Don?
Your mic must be off.
I'm here.
There
and then
you
I'm
go.
gone. I'm here and then I'm gone. It's crazy.
Buckeye
Wonderful
State
Google.
paid for its ENET bill this month.
I heard that. Yeah. Post office.
Yeah, you gotta go pay homage to Google.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
I heard about half your teaching.
I'm sorry. I hope you heard a good half.
I'm gonna watch it again and listen again because
Yeah.
it was very good what I heard.
And it's by no means definitive. There's a lot of work to be done on it, but everywhere I've taken it through, and even though Paul did not use those terms, he clearly stated there's no other way to God but through Jesus Christ. And to reject Jesus Christ, it's just God can't do anything for you. I think it's in Romans where it says that they are none of his. Except through the Lord Jesus Christ, they're not his. They're not God's until they go through Jesus. And it stands true for the Hebrew writings too, because those people look forward to the coming of the Redeemer.
Mm-hmm. And Confucius ain't gonna get you there.
Right. God made man, man sinned, God gave him an opportunity to get out of it through the promised seed, and it came from there, and there is no other way.
Exactly.
Not Buddha, not Muhammad, not any of them. Just Jesus. Not me, not Chamberlain, not Lynn. It's only one way.
My goodness, Don Culp's reproducing.
Oh my Lord. We've got two culps. Oh no. One's frozen in time.
Starting to look like they're both frozen in time.
Okay, while I'm alive, I think I'm going to call it a night. I keep going in and out, and I'm not hearing enough to even know what the conversation's about anymore.
Okay.
Go to. It's time to call the night.
Mm.
I love you
Glad I
guys.
got- Love you too. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Don, you want to teach next week?
Yes.
Good. Another week
Everybody-
off.
Everybody remember to shoot a message off to Monica.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
Love you.
Good night, Don.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Mike.
Good night, sir. Good night,
Good
Chris.
night.